Ooh, it's raining heavy outside. I hope the internet stays connected. Okay, verse 4. Who would like to read verse 4 for us?
Okay, I'll go.
All
Verse
right,
4.
go for it.
Velakak hakohen hatene miyadeka vehini ko lifnei mitzvah Adonai Eloheka.
Just a moment. Okay, very good. Except Mizbach. Instead of mitz, it's not a tzadi, it's a Zion, right? Good reading. Mizbach, Adonai Elohim. Right? Okay. So let's see. So velakach. What's velakach mean?
Lakak is perfect, to take.
Good.
Vav conversive, so you shall take.
Yeah.
The priest shall take.
Good. Okay.
The tene. I don't know what tene is.
The priest. We had tene on the previous page, but it's a very rare word, fairly rare. The priest will take. He will take hatene.
The basket.
Yeah, the basket. Very good. The basket.
Right,
Someone.
the
Your mic
basket.
is. Yep. The basket. Good. Some background noise. I'm gonna hit mute all.
From your hand.
Feel free to unmute if you want to talk. Okay. From your hand. Very good. From your yad. Right.
From your hand.
Yes. Very good. Just a moment. Sorry, I'm having my mouse is taking its time. Okay. From. Why is there a dagesh in the yod? See the dot in the yod? Why is that there, guys? Why is there a dagesh there?
Assimilation of noon. General rule for
Is that yad?
preposition means from.
Assimilation of noon.
Good. This the noon's assimilation.
The
Very good.
noon
The
assimilation.
noon went in there, and he's our. I'll make it a bit bigger. Our dagesh. Everybody sees that? Because mean, you can either write as mean like that, or the noon assimilates, like Vikoi said. You get me and a dagesh in the next letter, right? The noon becomes the dagesh, right? He calls him double. Good. And then yadecha, ate correctly translated, your yad, your hand.
Your hand.
Good. So we have a nice suffix there. Your. Okay? And then yad just means hand, right? What are other meanings for yad? What other things can yad mean?
Power. Authority.
Yeah, good. Yeah, power, authority. That's
Power.
good. Yes. And in this case, hand. Okay, it can mean possession as well, right? Like your possession. That's kind of what it means here, right? More generally speaking. Okay, just a second. I need to wipe off my desk. There's some condensation from my water, making the mouse not want to work. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Vehinicho. This is a bit harder. Vehinicho.
And cause him to Noach. Rest? Is it rest?
Yes.
Noah?
Yeah, yeah.
Noach?
Technically it means
Rest.
rest, but we have to translate it
Cause
differently
rest.
in English to make it make sense.
Rest.
So I should have made the hay yellow. Let me make him a different color.
Oh, Rabbi, what if settle or to
That's right.
settle
That's right.
before settle?
Exactly. So,
Okay.
what binyan is this, Yomar? What's the binyan?
Kif'il, Rabbi,
Yes.
because of the hay, and then the third letter is Yod.
Yes, very good. Okay. So to cause, to, okay. And then what's the root word of the verb? What's the root?
Noach.
Good. Good. Cause him to Noach. Okay. And so, like Yomar said, this can mean to rest, settle, right? So oftentimes, the he fill form of this, we translate this as to set or to place. Okay? Probably Moshe chose this word because in the previous verses, he already used Natan, and he already used Sim, and now he's using another word to mean the same thing, right? So this is kind of a nice literary style. Even though it's not poetry we're reading, the text is cycling through words that have the same meaning. So he shall cause to rest, and then what is the O at the end there? Yomar, what's the O?
Pronominal suffix third person.
Very good.
He.
Yeah, good. Him or it, right? Him or it. Very good. Third person,
Yes, sir.
masculine, singular. Good, okay. Okay, nice. You guys notice it's never going to be like his or my or yours if it's at the end of a verb, right? Because it's going to be either the dative or the accusative is the grammatical term. Ah! Okay, there's the black zone. Okay, I'll write it. What's happening? PowerPoint is trying to end. Hold on, let me see. I don't know what I pressed to do that. How can I stop the end? Don't end. My choice are keep or discard. Okay, maybe we'll keep. Good. Yeah, I don't know what I pressed. Some shortcut to tell it to close. I don't know what that was. Okay. So when you have it at the end of a verb, the suffix is going to be the technical term. Wait, let me go over here. Is dative. That's if it's him, right? Or accusative. You can also, that's also him in English. You don't have to know that. That's if you guys care. Okay, Lifnei Mizbach Adonai.
Sorry, Gabi.
Yes.
Sorry. Going back to Noah.
Okay.
Okay. Which one to choose from? They're all special. Peinun, Ayin Vav, and Lamed Gateral. And
Nice. Good point. Thank you. So he's a hollow verb.
thank you.
Right? Very, very good point. So Victoria wants to discuss here, and this is good. This is something good to talk about. Thanks for pointing that out. So notice the first letter in Noach, in this verb, is a noon, right? So that means that he is categorized as a pei noon verb. Okay? And again, when you write pei noon, you don't do the final noon. This is just the way that the rabbis did it. Pei / noon, okay? Or if you're looking at a Gentile grammar, they might say an I noon, meaning in the first position, Roman numeral I, right? Means the same thing. Okay? So Noach. So this is why we have the dagesh here. I'll make him bigger. That is our noon. Make him green. The noon went inside here, right? Oh, what am I talking about? No. Let's see. Why is that dagesh there? Hold on. We still have our noon present. How odd. I'm glad you wanted to analyze this because now I'm a bit confused. We have our noon. The noon didn't disappear. So why is that dagesh there? Interesting. How interesting. Oh, I have an idea. Oh, let me think about this just for a sec. Could it be?
What is the root verb?
What?
What is the root verb?
Root is Noach.
Rab?
Noach. Nun,
Oh.
Vav, Chet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Ayin
understand.
Vav, and then Lamed Gateral.
Yeah. So I don't understand why why we have that dagesh there. I was thinking pei noon, the noon went inside, but then there's another noon. We have two noons here. Okay, we might have to leave this as a question mark, unless one of you has an idea. Don't be afraid to correct me if you know why. I'm going to put a question mark here. This is interesting. Why is that guy there when the noon is still here? Our noon is still here. He didn't go anywhere. How interesting. Okay. The Vav has disappeared as it's a hollow verb, right? And the Yod there is showing us that this is in he fill form. So it's a mystery to me why we have a strong dagesh there. I'm not really sure about the morphology, what's happening. But we look at it, we can still read it, we understand. So this is really kind of a secondary issue, right? It's more like trivia. Why is it there? We understand it's Hefil, we know the root, we know how to translate it. Okay. Difnei Mizbach Adonai. What is Mizbach Adonai?
Before the altar of Adonai.
Very good. Altar, the altar of Adonai. Let me change my colors.
Your God.
Yes. And notice she said the altar, right? The altar. Oh, sorry, altar of Adonai. And notice the that's because Adonai is definite, right? So the definiteness applies. Notice the spelling change. Mizbeach is how we usually say altar, but this became Mizbach. So the tseri reduced to a short vowel, patach. Okay, your God, Elohecha. Very nice. Okay, do we have any comments or questions?
Rabbi,
Yes.
Rabbi
Oh.
comment
Okay.
concerning, comments concerning bilakak hakohen.
Yes.
The Kohen will take the offering, the bikurim,
Yes.
and he will put his hand to the under the owner of the basket, and together they will lift up the weight and weight lift the offering, just like the same Rabbi, same in Pentecost. The bread was being waving.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Okay. Good.
Rabbi,
Yes.
in the word vehinicho,
Yes. You found something?
does the chirek affect the dagesh? Is there any relation to it? Because the hifil is the second letter is shwa, just like in hifdil, and then the nun is chirek.
Well, that would make sense if we were dealing with a nifal form, right? So oftentimes when you have a pei nun and you have a nifal, they will collapse like that. But this one's a hefil, you see? So it's kind of bizarre. That's what's strange about it. So what you're saying, that does actually happen in nifal binyan, right? But why is the nun still there, right? Like, if the nun is there, we don't need the dagesh, you see, because there's really nothing to collapse. Because it's a strong dagesh, right? Oops, I'm sorry. Where's my... Did it crash? Did PowerPoint stop presenting? Oh, I see. I pressed something on my tablet. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, Yomar? What you're saying
Yes,
is
Rabbi.
correct.
I get
It's
it.
totally correct. It's very intuitive of you. That does happen in nifal, right? With nifal, we will see that with a pei nun verb, where you get the nun and a dagesh in there, right? That can happen. But in this case, it's hefil, so there's really no need for it. Yeah. I mean, there's always a fallback, right? So sometimes you do see strange pointings just because that's how people said it, right? So the Masoretes, they had it memorized a certain way. Like, you can certainly see why the nun doesn't disappear here. You know, what are you going to say then? The hi-yicho, right? So they kept the nun. Oftentimes we add a nun, don't we? So at the end of some verbs, if we want to put a suffix, we will actually add an extra nun, right? So for example, let me change my color here so I can demonstrate this. We can kind of work this out and get close to the answer, I think. So how do I say you forsook, you abandoned? This is kind of my go-to example. Azavta, right? Azavta. Azavta means you abandoned, right? You forsook. Azavta. Or if we do our cursive ayin, it's like this. Okay. Azavta. Okay, everybody still hears me, right? So what if I want to say, what is the suffix, the pronominal suffix, first person singular? How do I say me?
Saftani.
Right, but just the suffix is yod, right? The suffix by itself is
yod,
I,
yes.
right? E. Okay, you're exactly right. Exactly right. But what do we do to make it easier to pronounce? Right? To make it the way you said. Noon oftentimes saves the day by helping us to pronounce something more easily. So it would have been kind of hard to say azaf ta'i, right? We don't usually combine vowels in Hebrew. We don't say azaf ta'i, right, doing a diphthong. Instead, we have like a movable noon, it's called. A noon comes in, and he saves the day, kind of, right? He makes it, he's added there just to make it easier to say, azaf tani, right? So, I think, hold on, I gotta mute you guys. There's somebody with background noise that's bothering me. So I think what's happening is somehow the noon here is still there and even doubled. I think we got kind of a pronunciation noon in there, right? And I think maybe what happened is kind of an energetic pronunciation effect where when you add a letter, perhaps the way that people memorized the text was emphasizing that letter, right? So think of it this way. They kept the noon because it's harder to pronounce the hicho and recognize what the verb is, right? Than to say hinicho, that's already much clearer, right? And then the noon just, we got another noon in there, like this one, for pronunciation purposes. So this is my hypothesis. I think what's happening here is this noon in the pei noon stayed, so it's more recognizable what the word is, right? People didn't want to be confusing, so they left it there. Otherwise, it's just too confusing, right? Because that yod, think about it. If you say hi yicho, this yod is not part of the root either. So you could see where ancient people talking, if someone tried to say the hicho, they're like, huh? Noach, vehi necho. So they probably kept the noon in the pei noon for that reason. And then we doubled it just because another noon, like we have here, showed up a connecting noon to make it easier to pronounce. This is my theory. I think that's why that's there. Just thinking through it, I don't know. But I think this might be the case. How does that work for you guys? You think that's okay? Explanation?
Question.
Yes.
The asabtani, is that in parallel with when you say when you're referring yourself as ani? Is that related to that also?
I'm sorry, the last part,
That's
your
why
voice went out for me. Is that
the
related
ani, the is that related to ani?
It could be.
That's why you could remember.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Yep, except if I wanted to say you forsook us, I'd also say azaf tanu, right? So maybe anachnu. Oh, let's think. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's why he shows up there. Certainly could be. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so this might be a good place to stop because it is now 6:02. And, I think maybe... Well, let me see how long the next one is. Let's have a quick look.
I'm sorry, I was out. The root word for hitniku is
Noach. Noon,
Noach.
Noon
Okay.
Vav. It's on the slide if you look to the right. Hold on. See, look over here. This is a he fill of the root Noach, right? Noach.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay. Even a better way to explain this, it might be that the pronunciation noon came in there, and then the other one assimilated, like in reverse order. Okay, so this is good, I think, for today. A decent place to stop. We're part of the way through the Aliya Yomi. Go
One
ahead.
more question.
Sure.
Is that the nuk is related to comfort, like noak, nakam?
Yep. It does have this meaning also, to comfort someone. Although oftentimes that's nacham and the mem can go away. But there's a little bit of controversy over which root it's from, Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions or comments before we end?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yay!
You're
Our YouTube videos will not be silent anymore.
even though we went backwards in subscribers last week, we went from 399 to 398. But amen.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
somehow they
noticed
find
that
us anyway.
YouTube vids. It takes so long for us to answer.
Yeah. It's okay. Adonai will break through. Yeah. Okay, guys, you have a great week, and we'll continue to discuss things on the Hebrew Literacy chat. Okay. Shalom.
Shalom.
Salamat po. Salamat
Shalom
po.
po.
Shalom.
Toda raba, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Toda raba.
Brakasha.
Ilaw na in.
Hey, you did it. This is the end of this part. Watch the next one. To support our projects, you can donate at www.patreon.com/Hebrew Literacy. You can do a single donation or sign up for monthly donations.